For the past few weeks, I've been an addict. I haven't been able to stop thinking nor less playing Tekken 8 every day. I'll wake up, think of Tekken, then I play Tekken, only then to stop Tekken, only then to crave Tekken, to then repeat the cycle. Is this what being on drugs is like? Because Jesus Christ, even as I write this, I want to stop and play more Tekken. This game is addictive. It's like crack, you can't get enough of it. In fact, Tekken 6 is where I started, but with 7, it's where I took it seriously. But 8 is the one where I just can't get enough of it. Everything about this game is just incredible. And after Tekken 7's disappointing story mode, jumping into 8 was batshit crazy. And as for the story, there's no recap unless you go into the gallery, which is strange after that ad. But I recommend watching some form of a recap if you need it. Otherwise, this is not a recap because there's too much stuff to go over. Also, this game needs an update to the gallery because there's less than 7. With that said, the story mode is batshit crazy with nothing but fan service throughout, tying back to the first game and with fan favorite characters being part of the story and being part of the conflict while having more to do than ever before. And the characters stay true to themselves, like Kazuya is this evil genocidal villain who just wants destruction and nothing more, with Jin being the savior who's the only one who can stop him. But what about Tekken 6 when Jin was, starting World War 3? We don't talk about that. That doesn't exist anymore. This game doesn't want to talk about it. Otherwise, I love this game's story. It's not a 10 out of 10. There's stuff that I disagree with. But the writers knew how they wanted to end the saga and have it be satisfying. And throughout all of it, it rides on the ridiculousness of what the story has been building up towards since the first game. The story for the most part is just dumb fun, and it's amazing. That being said, I wish the story had a bigger time skip as it's kind of weird how some events turn out. And while the story is about Jin versus Kazuya, there are a few characters that seem like they shouldn't even be part of the story or are here for the sake of it when they could have been left out. And while I like them being part of the story, I would have hoped they had their own story segments going into them personally, as most characters outside of the Mishimas have felt lacking and have gone nowhere since Tekken 6. Hell, some characters like Miguel or Eddie should have been part of the story as they have direct ties to Jin, and their absence feels weird when you know their lore. But I suppose the game couldn't include everything, and it does kinda suck, but it is what it is. In any case, if there was any way the game could have fleshed out the characters, it could have been in the character stories, or formerly known as the arcade endings. But again, some characters go nowhere, and it seems like the writers just don't want to address very important questions, as there's no room for growth anymore. For example, when you look at Asuka, all there is to her is now being a rival to Lily, which I'm down bad for. But she has another rival, Bang. When was the last time she had an interaction with him? I think it was Tag 2, but that doesn't even count. And the last canonical event she had was in 6 when she tried to stop Jin from starting World War 3, but then the silliness ends with her own arcade ending when Lily shows up and they start fighting off screen. And when you look at Lily in this game, she's going around making connections, whereas Asuka is just in one place interacting with nobody, none of the Mishimas. They don't even acknowledge her truly. She's just there. I don't get what her character is anymore. But when her arc hasn't ended, it leaves me feeling a bit empty because honestly, how long can this be dragged out? I wouldn't even care if the rivalry with Fang ends with no confrontation. I just need an ending because the games take long to make and there's not exactly another form of media that's gonna continue it. If only there was a show or a manga or a comic. If only, right? To be fair, a lot of fighting games could do with this. Either way, the character stories are a good return to form to how fun the endings can be. Although, one problem with the character stories is when compared to the arcade modes from previous games, it's kind of basic and it lacks a lot as there's no bonus rounds or secrets or unlockable chests. It does the job, but I would have liked some unique aspects to it. And outside of character stories, if you're new to Tekken, this game has so much shit to keep you busy for a while and hopefully longer with more updates. And are you someone who struggles with visual fidelity? Well, Tekken's got your back, boy! Tekken 8 has so many accessibility options, well, for your eyes at least. It's pretty sick. I can't talk about them individually, but from what I've seen, They're pretty cool. And if you're new to Tekken, Tekken 8 is by far the most different Tekken has ever been. It takes so much from the past and changes it to be aggressive. And the game has a pretty good tutorial at teaching you the basics and going over the changes. But personally, I don't know how I feel about the changes. In the past, Tekken from 1 to 7 has relatively stayed the same with small changes sprinkled throughout. But in 7, there was a controversy about rage arts. Should a comeback mechanic exist in Tekken, as Tekken has always been about skill, and during 7, I could defend rage arts as I would argue that they should exist, as rage arts, yes, are a comeback mechanic, but it was a risky move all to be used when you knew the outcome, and it made for some great tournament endings. However, it also had another mechanic tied to it, Rage Drives, a powerful version of one singular attack that turns the arena blue, and it allows for big damage but more importantly combo extensions, and both could be useful. Hell, even if someone landed the Rage Drive, they could still drop the combo because that's still part of the knowledge check. But with 8, the one major change is the new heat mechanic. It's like Rage Drive but evolved. There's 4 main ways to use it. During the start of every round, there's a heat bar. After it has been activated, you have 10 seconds to capitalize on it until the next round. The 4 ways to use heat is 1. Heat burst, you gain armor and a frame advantage. 2. Heat smash, using the remaining heat, you can unleash your mini rage out without armor. 3. Heat engages, specific moves end with heat, and with those same moves. 4. You have heat dash for extended pressure, and that's it. With that out of the way, heat is pretty cool. It makes matches go fast, it makes for aggressive and oppressive matches. But my problem with heat is that it coexists with rage arts. I'd rather rage arts be active once every game instead of every round, so it's even more of a risk when you should use it. Because honestly, even in tournament settings, high ranking players use rage more often than I thought. I hope in future updates this is something that changes, but I suppose that's the times changing and I've turned into an old man. I just gotta learn. And learning is always half the battle with Tekken. Tekken has always been a very defensive game and 8 is no different, but 8 has probably the best tool assist to help you learn and figure out what you should or could do. After every match, your replays are saved, and with it you're able to view your previous matches, but more importantly the game will give tips to what you could have done against the opponent. Not only that, but you're able to take control over your character and have it play in real time, and it's such an ingenious way to have a tutorial mode. Normally I don't replay my matches, but now I do. And if you want to watch someone else play your character, just scroll through different replays and view them. You're also able to control those replays as well if you find yourself hard stuck in a similar situation or just want to know a different combo route. It's crazy good. There's also ghost matches where you have an AI who learns the way you fight, but so far most ghost matches are pretty bad. They don't really even play like you, and hopefully Namco can fine tune them to be better, because honestly, after training them, they're still not very good. And finally, the practice mode. It's crazy how much is packed in here. I don't want to go over everything, but it's very useful to take your time to find out what suits your needs, or I suggest watching videos from various streamers or YouTubers to find out what you could use because of how much is packed here. There was stuff I didn't even know about until I watched some YouTube videos. And after you're done learning, it's time for the online portion of Tekken 8, and it's fine. You have crossplay, and the game feels like Tekken 7. Nothing's changed, there's no rollback, there's no new netcode situation. Some games can be funky, others feel great, but honestly, it's nothing special. I hope a real update comes around, but I doubt it. But hey, at least I don't need to go through the Tekken Lounge. Fun fact, if you're like me wondering why it exists and why it looks so crappy and half-assed compared to Street Fighter's hub mode, well, it comes from Bandai Namco's failed Gundam Metaverse project. They spent $130 million on it, and to recoup that investment, they went ahead and made this shady thing. Thankfully, you never have to interact with it, and I don't, but it's funny seeing a $130 million project fail and turn into whatever this half-assed thing is, because what the shit is this? It has like Tekken 1 arcade cabinets and like Galaga cabinets and other retro game cabinets, but you can't play them. All you can do is like go through Tekken 8's like modes, and each area is different. It's just shitty all around. There's just more stuff that needs to be in there, like a practice mode, like online practice. Oh right, during the launch, this is the only way you can play Tekken Ball as an online mode. It's not, if you go to Tekken Ball in the menu, it's only offline. But if you go to Tekken Ball during the launch, it's then online. It's really strange. It needs to be fixed. It's really dumb. Tekken Ball is great. It's a great little fun gimmick mode I invested too much time in. Like too much time, but it's very fun. And as for the launch, I don't think it's entirely bad. I just think it needs some work, because right now it just feels very bare bones. Like, why would you ever need to go to the lounge other than just maybe seeing a friend to then add them as a friend? Because you can't really do anything outside of the Tekken Ball mode. Like, this game is missing online practice. This game is missing infinite rematches, which is something I don't understand. Like, in ranked, I understand why there can't be infinite rematches, but for unranked, for quick games, I don't understand. That needs to be a thing that needs to be added in, because it's insane. Otherwise, the final and last thing is customization. In Tekken 6 and Tag 2, I spent hours going through characters and customizing them the way that I want. But in 7, I was heavily disappointed, and we only got one update throughout its 8-year cycle, and it was a nothing burger. And with 8, I was so excited because everything they were talking about was a massive success. I was like, yes, this is gonna be great. But then after playing the game and after going through the customization in 8, it's like, it's a step forward, but then it's 2 steps back. Like, the beach outfits are gone. But then it doesn't make any sense, because Azucena has literally a bikini outfit. But then you go, wait, so why does she have a bikini outfit and nobody else does? So the game is not exactly pandering to only one type of people. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you're like, where did the original outfits go? They just don't exist in this game. You only have Tekken 7 outfits. And as for Tekken 7 outfits, this game has less of them. Like, at least Tekken 7 had crazy different uniforms that you could wear, and then there are just other aspects to the customization that don't make any sense. So Steve has gloves. If you put a shirt on him, the gloves are gone, but then there's no additional option to give him other gloves, or just the gloves that he originally had. Like in 6, you could give him crab hands. Give me Batman crab hands. And then you're like, okay, fine, whatever. Maybe I can just give Steve Asuka's outfit, perhaps. And then you go, no, actually, Asuka's outfit can't be put on Steve. It can only put on Lily, and vice versa. And other characters have their own version of that too. But then you're like, why? I honestly thought that anybody could have Asuka's outfit. Anybody could have Harang's outfit. But no, you can't even do that. And then I was like, oh, at least you could probably give them the pieces of the outfit. But no, that's not a thing either. You only have like Asuka's hat, but then not her like vest or gloves or anything else. It's just really weird how this customization mode came about. And then other characters have unique items, but then the vast majority don't, which I think is entirely fine if everybody gets everything. So for a long time in Tekken, females and males had different customization outfits, but I think that everybody should just have everything. I mean, besides bikinis and what the men wear, the underwear thing. And the issue I've always had with Tekken is, why can't I change my hair and wear a different hat, or just put on a hat? Why is this a thing I cannot do? And it makes even less sense when you consider the fact that this is the same company that made Soul Calibur 6. You know, the customizations in that game were incredible. Why couldn't they just take that mode and be like, here it is? I don't care about collision. Do you care about collision? There's already collision with some clothes. My only hope is that a lot of free updates come out to address these issues. Otherwise, it sucks, because I imagine it's going to be really big DLC content. And I hope that's not the case. I hope they include a lot of options first, and then are like, hey, there's gonna be DLC over the course of the years. But I don't know. But overall, Tekken 8 is getting a 8 out of 10. I hope some of my problems can be addressed, but who knows if they will. As for the game right now, it is fantastic. I recommend anyone to play it. I recommend, if you're new to play it, definitely play it. To be fair, at least this game has a free customization mode compared to shit like what WB is doing with MK1. Update: Tekken 8 is getting a customization shop or microtransaction shop of some kind. Who knows how that's gonna play out? Hopefully it turns out really well. And they don't price gouge people like what Street Fighter 6 is doing, because that game was doing amazing, and then I don't know what they're doing with the DLC. It's not good. Hopefully Tekken and Bandai Namco can see that people really like it, so they don't overcharge and they actually provide a lot of free stuff first before just going, let's not give options. I don't know, this can go either way. It could be like really bad like Mortal Kombat, or it could be amazing like Soul Calibur, but I don't trust them, because even Bandai Namco is hurting nowadays because of all their bad game investments, and you know, the Metaverse project losing like $130 million. That shit is wow. Alright, that's it from me. Take care and see ya.